right, Sonnies, our next guests are proof that a few people with some shovels can plan change a whole community to prosper. James and Gayle Weston, the brother-sister duo, have been quietly turning food scraps and yard waste into rich living soil. And the process they are building something even bigger, a grassroots composting initiative that's giving our neighbors here in Northeast Florida a real hands-on way to fight food waste, strengthen our local gardens, and build a healthier community from the ground up. With so many Northeast Florida residents right now pushing for the Jacksonville City Council, actually, for a Free to Garden Act after recent concerns about a parasite outbreak tied to food and soil safety. We've been talking about it on here. It's Hot Girl Summer. I'm just saying. If you know, you know. You know James and Gayle Weston. Welcome to Sunny TV.
Hello, hello. Thanks for
Oh
having
my
us.
gosh, you guys are awesome about all of the cool initiatives that you're putting out to the different communities and all over Northeast Florida. But let's start real quick on how you guys got involved with this kind of lifestyle.
All right, yeah, thank you for having us, by the way. I'm excited. This is great. And, well, I guess it started out, we really thought there was no place for food waste. Like, we had our trash cans and recycle bins, and then the food waste, we thought there should be a third thing. And so we're kind of looking around, we're thinking, and we couldn't figure out, like, what to do about it. But luckily, you know, when you start thinking something out and you start really getting into it, we kind of, everything aligned perfectly. We met someone at the farmer's market, we're asking around.
Cool.
Who was already kind of getting it started, but they were leaving town, and so they had some resources for us and kind of got the ball rolling. So thank you to Shelby for kind of getting things started.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's
she
great.
helped us with our first round of buckets and lids and some great advice. And we had the space. We have a few acres of a family farm out near the outlet malls.
Cool.
And we've been trying every kind of farming thing you can think of. We tried bees, we tried plants, and nothing ever really stuck. And this has lasted for years now.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a really great addition to the farm. It's really given the farm a more important purpose, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of become the heart of the farm. The
I love
soul,
that.
Yeah, so it's
You
been
guys
great.
always been this close to nature?
Yes, that's kind of, we kind of have, my parents even on the property before us have tried to keep the farm a really wild place. So I'd say about half the land we don't even use. A bunch of it is just swamp. We have a little walkway through there. We have deer. We have a fox. Our neighbor just saw the first coyote we've seen in a long time.
Oh, wow.
Endless amount of wild turkeys. We used to have quail,
Yeah.
all sorts of wild creatures. Lots and lots of snakes. I love snakes. I'm the only one who loves snakes, but I love snakes.
I love
And nope ropes. A lot of nope ropes.
Yes, yeah.
But that's great. Yeah.
Yes, he calls them the nope ropes.
It's our little paradise out there.
But yeah, we have our own little tiny corner of Florida paradise wilderness hidden out there.
Love it.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you. I'm not going to ask this. I'm going to tell everybody this.
Oh, you Mal.
So the Instagram.
Okay.
I will say one of my favorite reels, James, is when you have the bucket of sunflower seeds and you're like, just put them anywhere, and you're
Yeah.
throwing them. And then he does a
He's
Bob
literally
Moss
like just
character.
tossing them everywhere,
You
right?
guys, what is your Instagram so our viewers can go on there and follow?
Yeah, you can follow me at FarmBoyJames528 on Instagram or FarmBoyJames on TikTok, and just James Weston on
So funny.
Facebook. Yeah.
So
He even has the little blue check on Facebook.
Oh, there. That's
he's
very
very
official.
He's very
Yeah.
fancy.
That's very cool. But seed placement you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so that I call it a little chaos gardening. I like to get out there and just have some fun. Like I think people get too stressed out, intimidated by gardening, and,
Yes.
I like to just have fun with it. And you could use nature's strategy. Speaking of nature, you know they're not out there. Sometimes you bury some seeds, but you just throw them around and let nature take it. You know, get some rain. The sunflower seeds and the dried beans are my favorites. Like black-eyed peas are growing right now. I got a ton of them.
Awesome.
Just throw them around. You have fun, and they
Yeah,
pop
that's
up.
how wild plants are distributed. Same way nature makes compost. It's meant to grow,
Yeah.
you know?
Work
So
with it.
let's talk about compost, since that is the buzzword of this interview right now. Some people like me, I have no idea where to start, where to begin. What is it all
just, like, dump some
about?
food in a hole?
What is this?
You could do that. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to look at it. The most simple way to think about it is you basically need nitrogen and carbon, which is nitrogen's your food waste, carbon is your wood chips. You got to get the right ratio. But yeah, it's complicated, but you can also simplify it really.
Yeah, in small spaces, like if you have a small backyard or an apartment, you might be better off doing something like vermicomposting, which is like a little worm bin.
Okay.
Because in Florida, you know, it's hot. We have every bug known to man, every other kind of weird rodent
True.
and thing. So compost does attract those things. We have the space to do it, so another option is to call us in, and we provide a bucket. You could put your food waste in and then switch it out every so often for a clean one on various agreed upon times. It's a little subscription service. And then we have the space and time, and it doesn't really, we keep it far enough away from the house that the bugs are welcome to do their job. They're doing an important part of the composting.
What are they doing?
They're eating things and
Okay.
turning it into waste that just keeps it all going. Even bacteria is all involved. It's a natural process, just like something rotting in the forest.
So then what do we do with compost?
We use it to grow things. We use it in our own garden. We redid the tomato beds this year by adding just like an extra foot of compost because we've got a fairly endless supply now. But we also give it to some of our compost clients as well.
All the members get compost in return as well.
This is
And
awesome.
A lot of the
Yeah.
restaurants will donate it to school gardens. If they don't need it for their own employees or anybody,
Right.
we'll donate it to a school garden in their name and some community gardens we work
That's
with.
awesome. I know Osceola was doing this really cool project, Farm to Table, with the kids, and they were like learning how to grow actual vegetables and why the importance of that. I love things like this. This is
Yeah.
really, really cool. It's a
we,
great.
we gave a lot of compost to Evelyn Hamlin when they
Oh
were
my
starting
goodness,
out
great
their
school.
program. Yeah.
Awesome.
And,
That's where I used to
also,
work.
When things go to the landfill instead, food waste and things, it rots anaerobically, which means without oxygen, which actually creates methane gas. But when it is composted instead, it just creates oxygen and carbon, just like rotting things do in the forest. So it also is better for the greenhouse gases and things.
Is there a season for compost? Can you do it in the winter too?
In Florida, you sure can. Obviously, they have a problem with that further north, where if the ground is frozen, certainly you can't compost outside either. But
Right.
we've seen he's had some partnerships with other composting companies. We've seen some really interesting ways that they get that going. But as a Floridian, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just slows down a little. Well, that microbiology, when it gets too cold, will just slow down a lot. But basically, when it thaws out, it'll just pick right back up. So
Yeah.
they
Now,
just-
a good compost pile starts steaming, right? You want that kind
Yeah,
of
it's
emulsified.
making heat.
Yeah.
That's right.
What is that? What's that all about? Why does it do that?
that's the microbiology, the activity going on. There's a lot of activity happening inside. They're eating the food and making it moving all around. But that's going to be, that's going to really heat up to, which is great to kind of kill any like seeds that are unnecessary seeds when it gets really hot.
Okay.
So it's yeah. I think that
That's supposed to keep it from having weeds in it, because the heat eats up the weed seeds and kills them, and makes them so they don't reproduce.
Got it. Got it. So recently you were up in Jacksonville. You were talking about Free to Garden Act. What was this all about?
Yes, this is something that I've been working in Jacksonville a lot as well. Lived there many years, and my good friend Nathan, the man in overalls, he builds some community gardens, and there's just constant red tape from the city ordinances and just making it like extremely difficult to grow food for the community. And so we were just trying to make it where anyone in Jacksonville has, by right of law, the ability to grow food for the community. So it's
Or for themselves.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot about community gardens mostly. But yes, I mean, you could grow your own food, but when you try to give it to someone else, which I think is the key, because they're feeding hundreds of families, and they just want to keep it simple, because local food is the answer to a lot of problems we have. So I feel that we're trying to make some progress, and yeah, it's picking up steam. So I'm excited for that. It's a great program. You can check it out at Man in Overalls.
I saw him on the news a few months back.
Yeah, this is
And
probably
he's
the whole
standing
thing.
there and he's going, all I'm doing is getting fresh food and trying to give it to people. I don't understand, because a lot of the places in Jacksonville, it's food deserts. They can go to like the Family Dollar and buy like junk,
Yeah.
you know.
You're right, yeah.
So now with all these parasites in our food and everything now is bad, so you might as well eat chocolate chip cookies because vegetables that you buy in the grocery. How much better is it, and what's the risk of you gaining a parasite if you're growing your own?
Well,
Yeah.
a small farm, they're literally picking it with their hands, or in some cases with Nathan's farms, you're picking it with your hands at his farm, taking it home and washing it. Those parasites come from those big commercial farms, and having to do things on a giant scale, and things can get easily spread, especially around things that you eat raw, like lettuce, the
Right.
things that you heat up, not as much. But it's basically just a side effect of the way our food is produced now, because they have to cut a lot of corners when you're making food for so many people in an unnatural way.
Yeah, yeah.
The inputs can be a little questionable, you could say, because so knowing where your food comes from, cuts out a lot of the unknown. That's the problem with. They use some fertilizers that may not be something that you would want to use personally.
Yeah, true.
So
I mean,
that's
seriously, Miracle Grow, scary stuff,
there's
right?
a lot
I mean,
of different toxins and bugs.
and that
bug
is
sprays.
a fear because it just sneaks up on people and they don't even know, which is something. So what's the report card in St. Johns County? How are we looking as a community to support these initiatives? I know we can do a better job. I'm going to say it right away. But like, what are there specific communities that are doing it and kicking this out of the park?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we're doing great here. I know we have some great local farms. I love it. There's even some small backyard farms that are supplying restaurants, and then we have some larger farms.
We have a lot of local businesses, a lot of restaurants and things that support local farms with growing as well as composting. The Floridian, Diane's Market,
Awesome.
Juniper Market, all compost with us. And that's kind of one of our goals is to get as many of those local restaurants as possible involved in composting with us.
So then what does that look like? Say a restaurant is watching us right now and they want to sign up. What do they have to do?
Well, we basically, the ones that have been super successful with us, we give them buckets, depending on how much produce they think they use or how much food waste they'll have. They'll keep 1 to 2 buckets inside their kitchen. For example, next to the dishwasher and one next to the food prep station. And then as they get full, they swap them out outside with an empty one until we come and swap them out the next week.
Okay.
And we've really never had any restaurant start and then stop because it was gross. Or really, they've got a trash can in there too. They were just keeping the trash in an open trash can anyway. The bucket isn't really any harder, but you do have to separate some of the waste. Like you can't put the plastic
Oh, the
containers in
okay,
there
yeah.
or whatever. But we haven't really had anybody who started quit unless their restaurant went out of business. That happened one time.
But
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah.
But that's been my metric of success is that most of the time when people start composting with us, they enjoy it. They find it rewarding and they stick with it.
a lot of them didn't know that there was an option, because they just throw it all in the trash and then it ends up in the landfill where it's wasted and it's releasing methane gas, so it's harmful. But if they find out about the program, we talk to them a little about it, explain that we come and collect it, we make it simple, work with them however they need to do it. And if they're on a large scale, we're still working on getting like some larger bins. So mostly we work with like smaller cafes and Diane's Market's big, but they have space for, about 10 buckets. So yeah, they throw their stuff in there and it doesn't smell or anything because of the lid, so it's actually better. It can reduce their trash bill, and then they get to, put a sticker on the door, say we compost. And what we're hoping to really get people to support places that are doing the right thing. So if they're a restaurant that's composting, eventually more people will show up to support the place that does that compared to where if they're just throwing everything away and not getting local food. I think there's a movement towards people wanting to support people that are taking the extra effort.
And it's a great way to support a local farm without having to be reliant on us to always have onions or whatever, because the way the seasons change and the way Florida produce goes, that's not always as reliable an option. And we have never been very good at providing produce in that in a reliable manner. So it's really hard in Florida to pull that off.
Yeah,
with
our friends over at
changes.
the feed mill, we hear it all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's, I got to give them a shout because they are the forefront
great.
of farm to table, and I love them very much.
Yes.
So I learned so much from that farm. It's awesome. It is really really cool. We hear a lot, and we've been talking a lot about these new kind of developments coming into fruition called agri-hoods. I don't know if you guys have heard of this
I've
before.
seen them in Orlando.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Where they'll
Yes.
build an actual agricultural hub in the center of this and kind of make a community space like that. I could see something with you guys kind of partnering with developers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're here. I mean, I know we complain about
Right.
them all the time, but they're here.
Yes.
So why not work with them to try to make our spaces better? I think that would be a cool idea.
It's hard to get a hold of the right people at HOAs.
Gotcha.
And that's honestly who you need to talk to is
'Cause they
whoever's in
change
charge of that
over
HOA.
so much.
Oh, you're right.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. But yeah, that's what we would love to get some leads on some communities. We had a little bit of luck with, not Nocatee. For a while, we had a
That's a
lot
good
of
one.
clients in Nocatee because they're a very connected community.
Yeah.
They have a lot of community groups and things, and we had a lot of people there for a while, and it was during a time when a lot of people were selling houses and kind of everybody slowly transitioned to moving out of those houses. And anyway, so
Right, yeah.
but anyway,
What does
Yeah.
it look like for residential to sign up for this? Is
Yeah.
it hard for people, normal people, just to sign up?
Well,
No,
the
yeah,
main
we have quite a
issue-
few individual homes that do it, but yeah.
I would say the main issue is we want to try to get a few people in a neighborhood, and that makes
Okay.
it easier if we can get a few people. We do charge a small fee for the bucket and and our time and energy, but so if we can get a few people in a neighborhood, it's a much more affordable. I mean, it's pretty cheap anyways. But at the same time, we look for a group. You know, usually we'll find like a group of people who are kind of eco-friendly.
Awesome.
And they team up. And so if we could come to one house and pick up all their buckets, or we could go around the neighborhood. But
Gosh,
find,
I could see
yeah,
Rotary clubs doing this. There's some civic organizations. This is an amazing
Yeah.
idea.
There's a few
it works out.
developments that have a little community garden where people like pay for a plot in
Yeah.
the community space, and I would love to get more involved with those. Like that would be a great bucket swap location for anybody in that neighborhood, and then it can grow exponentially with us only having to make one stop. Because as you can imagine, that's a detriment for us. Is we just have one little truck, and if I have to stop by 20 houses, that takes a long time. If I can just go to one place like a restaurant or a community hub, that saves us so much effort, and then we can service more spaces. So.
So let's talk about what food can be composted. I mean, right in my head, I'm thinking banana peels. I'm thinking, is there anything that that's not good? Like maybe something with high fructose corn syrup. I don't know. Are you looking for things like that? Like, do we need to sift through some things, or really truly anything?
Meat doesn't go in there. Meat and bones,
Got
in
it.
theory,
Okay.
don't compost well.
You would
or
need a specific setup for that. Yeah.
yeah, we don't do that, or like animal waste, except for pet hair is
Okay.
fine. But we find the things that people are most surprised that they can compost, or like a lot of our clients have messaged me to ask if they can cut flowers in there because it's not a food product, you
Right.
know. So they're always want to double check before they do that. But yes, that's great. In fact, we'd love to eventually add a florist to one of our businesses. Because
Ooh, I can
think
help.
of all the like food waste. Oh yes,
I can really help, and I can say
yes.
this on live TV. Yes,
Oh,
I can do
say
this.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
She'll be
Because-
so excited.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
because
happy.
they have a lot of compostable waste, but it's not food waste. And so
Yeah.
I don't think they would think of it, and most people wouldn't. What was that, Jimmy? You said there was another.
Paper towels could
Yeah.
be composted, and people kind of don't
yeah,
think
people
about that.
don't think of that.
Oh,
Especially if
yeah.
they're not like printed with a special bunch of stuff. Just a basic paper towel, you could compost that.
Yeah,
So-
I learned that because Kate Moss used to eat toilet paper. There's fiber content in there. I'm just saying. That's why she's so svelte.
Yes.
This is why Mel looks great.
I
Yeah.
probably won't be trying that.
Yeah, pretty good.
So, if every household in St. Augustine started composting right now, what would it actually mean for our community and our environment?
I think it would prevent a lot of methane gas from the landfills. The landfills would fill up less fast. Trash would be less smelly. Imagine if
Yeah.
all the things that were food based in your trash weren't there. What's there for all that smelly bacteria
True.
to make the
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. Your household trash will change completely. Yeah, because you won't have to take the trash out as much, and then you have your food waste separate, so it keeps it separate. But also,
Yeah.
there's so much more resources that are being put back into the cycle, so we could grow more food.
Yeah.
Instead of having to buy fertilizers and things, compost is basically going to solve all that. Create a healthy soil, because Florida's got a lot of sandy soil. So adding compost to any garden is going to improve the quality of your food just by doing that. So the more compost, the more food we could grow.
That's amazing. And I mean, I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot, but like, how come like local governments, like local counties and things, don't jump on this and they're like wasteful? Does that mean they have to create another department? I mean,
in a lot of states they do, but
yeah.
Florida is tricky because of all those animals and bugs and mold and things that are produced from like our high heat and humidity. It's a messy business. I lived in Virginia for a while, and they had the option of getting free compost from the city all the time because they would pick up all your leaf matter or whatever, and they can easily compost it themselves. But because in Florida we have different weather conditions, I think it makes it a real challenge to do on a giant scale.
Oh, awesome.
And so it works better on a smaller scale.
I think San Francisco has it, like their city runs it. And
Yeah.
so a lot of our members actually, they move here from somewhere and they're like, hey, where's the compost go?
Right,
Because
right.
they were somewhere where it's just a normal part of their life.
Isn't that
So
interesting?
it is like a spreading movement. I went to a convention in Cleveland where there was 150 different community composters from all over the world. And so they are everywhere. And, a lot of communities, if you're watching this somewhere other than St. Augustine, you might have one in your community as well. Jacksonville has one called Apple Rabbit Compost.
Okay.
They're great. Tiffany does a great job there. And so, yeah, it's huge. Some places like Pittsburgh, they're hauling it by the garbage truckload. So it is scaling, and people are starting to find the importance of it.
I'd love to see it really roll out into a large initiative, especially in Florida. But what's your next initiative? You have any big plans coming up for future? What are you guys thinking?
Well, we'd like someday to transition it to a nonprofit. That way
Cool.
we can apply for grants
Yeah.
sometimes and make it a bigger portion of our business to donate compost as well. I'd like to do like gardens for all the schools. Even if we just donate compost for them to use for plant beds and things, everything has landscaping now. Also, veteran organizations and things.
yeah.
A lot of veterans find a lot of joy in gardening. It'd be
Assisted
really
living
nice.
facilities, I'm thinking too, would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
That I would. A big goal for me is I would love to get us our own commercial wood chipper, so that because we do rely on wood chipping companies, like on tree services, to bring us wood chips so that we can mix with the compostable waste to make the compost. And sometimes it's hard to get a hold of that.
Yeah.
But it's that's another product that we compost. Honestly, is the wood chips from those kinds of companies.
One thing I'm starting this month is kind of a monthly meetup. We're going to go to one of the restaurants that is part of the program, and members can come and hang out, and we'll do seed swaps, and we'll talk gardening.
Awesome.
So it'll be little monthly meetups, like Juniper Market. I think later this month we're going to just post it on social media, and people could come show up and just hang out.
Yeah, Juniper's about to open up in Hastings
Yeah,
right now. We're
excited
so
about
excited for them.
They're great.
Amazing,
Oh, that's
amazing. This is so extraordinary. I'm really excited to get this up and out to especially our local community. Where can people find you guys? Where can people get some more info?
If you see our buckets, our phone number's on the bucket, but on Facebook, James Weston, easy way, or you can email us, let us grow it, WFF.
Yeah.
At gmail.com.
I got it. So great.
Stands for Weston Family Farm, but I
Yes.
always got to like kind of
Yeah.
on my fingers.
I'd say, Facebook's pretty good too. Yeah, jump on Facebook or that's probably the best way as well.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today.
was
we
a
have
pleasure.
so much more conversations that we're going to be having about this. This is so important, and I just really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
Thank
Guys,
you.
Guys.
we're going to take a quick break with Maritime Creative and Flashes and Brilliance.